Hey y'all, I just wanted to jump on here to preface this episode real quick. This is kind of set up as a bonus episode of sorts. It is with the guys from Hippies and Cowboys podcast and Grady Smith. Be sure to check out all of their stuff as well. I'll be throwing links to Grady's YouTube page and the Hippies and Cowboys podcast into the show notes. And yeah, I don't have much else to say because I kind of just explained what the 2020 album draft is and all the rules here in like 5 seconds. So yeah, here it is. Hey y'all, welcome to a special edition of New Slang. I'm music journalist Thomas Mooney. What we're doing on this episode is a 2020 album draft. Everyone from Rolling Stone to that one friend you sometimes talk to on Facebook, they will be releasing their favorite albums of the year. And I'm fairly confident that the people joining me on this list will be releasing their individual lists as well. But I figured that a 2020 album draft would be a nice way to shuffle the deck and give you a different perspective on some of the music that came out this year. Personally, I feel like lists are just naturally flawed. Rankings are just arbitrary and subjective. But in saying that, like, I love taking these kind of things seriously. Because, I mean, like, just why not? Before we get too far down the road, I better introduce you to my fellow album drafters. I'm joined by country music critic and host of the YouTube channel of the same name, Grady Smith, and the co-host of the Hippies and Cowboys podcast, Mike Hart and Garrett McKie. How are y'all doing today?
Great. I'm good, and I'm ready to win this SmackDown draft.
No. The anticipation has been building on this for a while, so I'm excited to dig in.
Yeah, I want to make a dramatic unveiling of my costume for the evening, which is my Florida Georgia line at the Ryman merch, as well as a new arsenal in my wardrobe, and I did this just for Mike. Mm-hmm. These came in the mail today, actually, by surprise. But my limited edition Luke Combs Crocs that are fur lined that will be keeping my feet warm and hopefully inspiring me against the Croc master himself, Mike, who I don't know if y'all know this, but has some viral Croc TikTok content.
Yeah, I do like my Crocs. And
I'd like to add in that
season here.
I'd like to add in that he does sometimes send Crocs to our guests as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened.
We like
before.
to send our guests T-shirts and hats, but if Crocs come up in the conversation, and sometimes they do, and they mention that they don't have a pair of camo Crocs, then yeah, they usually get a pair in the mail.
If you're listening, you're welcome, Cleto.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well. So to make things super quick and streamlined, I'm going to go and give you a quick rundown of what this 2020 album draft is. If you've ever played fantasy football, it should sound incredibly familiar. If you haven't, it's not exactly rocket science, so you should be getting it pretty easily as well. But to further use the fantasy football example, in fantasy football, each week you fill out your starting lineup. Typically, that's a quarterback and 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, a flex, a defense and special teams, and a kicker. So for this draft, we're going to have our own categories that we have to fill out for this roster. This is going to be a 10-round draft with 10 categories. The 10 categories are as follows. 1, a chart topper. This album has to be within the top 5 selling album on Billboard lists whenever it was released. 2, a duo band album, an album by someone who is a band or a duo, obviously. 3, a collaboration. This album has to be a collaborative effort that must feature at least 3 quote-unquote featuring songs. 4, living legend. This album is going to be by someone over the age of 60. 5, a debut. So a full length by someone who is releasing their debut album. 6, small following. This is an album by someone who has a small social media following, a sleeper pick, if you will. So our number is going to be less than 1,000 followers on Twitter. 7, the EP picker. To mix it up, we're going to add a EP. Generally, 7 songs or less, or somewhere in that 15 to 18 minute range. 8, Americana or Amerikinda. So this is going to be our pick that is like just kind of outside the country or Americana realm. 9, that's going to be our wild card pick. So basically, if you want to double up on any of those other categories, this is where you'll find that pick. Number 10 is going to be the social media personality. Think of this as like your head coach position. Who is like just really great at Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or whatever? You want to pick this person in this category. So if you of the ground rules for this, and then we'll go ahead and get started. 1, this is a 10-round draft, like I mentioned. We'll be doing it in a snake order. We figured the order just a few minutes ago, and that's going to be Grady, Mike, me, and then Garrett. And then in obviously round 2, it'll go the other way around. To make things run smoothly, each pick is going to have a 45-second limit. Once an album is picked, it can't be picked again. It's completely off the board. 4, the album has to obviously be released this year. And 5, it's a free-for-all. So when we aren't drafting like by categories, like, so round 1 isn't going to be just like all debut records. Round 2 isn't going to be like the EP or nothing like that. It's just a free-for-all. To break up the monotony, we'll break after 5 rounds and just kind of discuss some of the picks for a minute or two, and then we'll go back into it. Again, more than anything, this is just a fun way to talk about 40 albums that were released this year. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We're ready.
Okay, well, let's put 45 seconds up. Grady Smith, you are.
Do you have a timer?
Clock. I mean, I'm not going to keep time, but I think we all kind of know. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody take turns counting Mississippis.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with the category that I feel most vulnerable in among my picks. And so I'm going to start with Living Legend. And I'm going to choose as my favorite album by someone over 60 years old, John Anderson's Years. John Anderson, I loved him. Like when I was really little, my dad was obsessed with the song Straight Tequila Night. That's how I first heard him. And honestly, couldn't tell you much of what John Anderson's been up to in the last 20 years, but he came out with this album on Easy Eye, which is the Our Back label imprint. And it had just a breezy feel and like that kind of new vintage Nashville sound that the Easy Eye kind of imprint is known for. I loved the song. Like he has this one called I'm Still Hanging On. He has one called like Wild and Free. And it's basically an album from an older perspective that is sometimes looking back being all wistful and sometimes like, guys, don't count me out. I'm still here. And honestly, the Blake Shelton collaboration on there, Tuesday I'll Be Gone, slaps. So loved it.
All right. I guess my 45 seconds are on the board. And I'm going to start this off with a very controversial pick because our classification for the under 1,000 Twitter followers, you guys can annex this if you want, or like, feel free to tell me I cannot do this, but I'm going to go with Cutting Grass by Sturgill Simpson because he does not have Twitter. Volume 1.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I want to object, but it's a pretty good loophole, man.
I mean,
yeah,
I think that's some bullshit, but okay.
I do as well think it's bullshit, but like it works within the lines. So. Oh, man. I did not see that one coming, actually, but we'll go to move on.
That's for Mike. That's for Mike. Unreal. Wow. You just I'm upset.
Yep. That was a dick move.
Well, I guess I'm on the board and I'm going to have to follow that up with, I'm just thinking here now about, I'm going to go with my social media following. I'm going to go ahead and take this person because he's really, really great at Twitter. And it also takes a person off the board as far as albums go, and that's Jason Isbell.
Wow.
Oh, so
He
you went
removes
with
all his albums as well.
You went with his social media, not
I
reunions.
went with the social media follow.
And then it takes reunions off.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
All right, I guess it's up to me, and I'm going to take Grady's route here and go with the category that I feel like I really have no idea what to do in. And so I'm going to go with the collaborative category, and I'm going to pick, and I mean, you guys can veto this too if you think it's unfair, but I'm going to go with Hold My Beer Volume 2, Randy Rogers and Wade Bowen. Is that allowed?
That was they were on my list, so I mean, that works.
All right, good enough. I didn't know because it was like you said featuring, like that was kind of
I think that's a good
in the description there, but I feel like that's a pretty good collaboration. It was a great album, so that's my pick.
Good choice.
Is it Garrett again here?
Oh yeah, I got back to back, right? Okay. Well, let me follow that up with. Shit, I should have been on the ball. Sorry, guys. Let me follow that up with my chart topper. And this one, you said Billboard charts. And so I went on and I found that this one is in the top 3 on the Americana Billboard charts. Is that allowed?
Yeah, sure.
I didn't know because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do there. So I'm gonna go with my Canadian. I'm sure you'll be scratching this one off your list. I'm going with Western Swing and Waltzes by Coulter Wall for my chart topper.
Touche.
All right. Yeah. So with my next pick, since my collab record, one of my picks was just picked just a few seconds ago with the Wade and Randy record, I'm going to go ahead and play it safe and pick that right now. And that is going to be The Panhandlers by The Panhandlers.
No. How dare you?
It's a great choice. I honestly didn't even think of that one.
Good.
Wow.
I'm again going to stretch the rules a little bit on this one because it originally, with the chart topper, we said anywhere from 5 to 10, and this one peaked at number 6, and I think that's pretty close. And it's one of the greatest albums that's made this year, and I'm going with Never Will by Ashley McBride for my chart topper.
I'm sure it was higher on the country chart. You can pull the Garrett rule and
yeah. It says, I mean, I looked it up. It says 6, but peaked at 6 on March or April 17th. I don't know. That's close. It deserved to be higher.
And then I guess it's back to me. I would also like to say I didn't realize we weren't explaining our picks. So if I seemed like an overeager YouTubing douchebag on the first pick,
I love it.
Apologize.
I just didn't have anything prepared, Grady. I was too busy about getting my picks and they're not describing them. So I'm impressed.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to Small Following next. And I'm going to choose Mr. Gabe Lee and his album Honky Tonk Hell. Why he still has under 1,000 followers on Twitter, I don't know. He's more an Instagrammer, but Honky Tonk Hell, freaking adore that album. So.
I joked with Garrett that I was going to pick that first just so you couldn't.
I would be so triggered. Be more triggered than if you chose if any of you had chosen John Anderson, because I really don't think I reviewed another album by someone over 60 this year, which you can call me ageist, but it's just the reality of things. Do I go again?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you are up again. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, I guess I will go for I'll go for collaboration since that that category is kind of filling up. I'm going to go, both of those other two were on my list that have been chosen, but fortunately I had a third failsafe, and that's Josh Turner and his kind of tribute album, Country State of Mind, which is like the most tasteful and good album. And it has everyone from Chris Christopherson to Chris Jansen to Randy Travis, Runaway June, Maddie and Tay, and John Anderson again.
Very cool.
That was on my list as far as like, if I didn't know if like my first two picks were chosen, that was kind of like going to be my back pick. So great pick. Yeah. Mike, you are on the board.
All right. Two of my favorite albums of the year are still out there. So I think I'm going to use my Amerikinda slot here, and I'm not sure if this is an appropriate use, but I think Arlo McKinley's Die Midwestern is one of the warmest and just greatest albums of the year. And I don't know, it's one that I just play all the time, and I want it on my roster. So I'll throw that one in Amerikinda if that counts. Yeah, is that fair game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Much less controversial rules wise.
Thomas is the boss.
Okay.
So.
Oh, am I the commissioner here?
Yes, you are.
Well, you did the intro. So.
Yeah, you can.
Whoever does the intro.
What did you say, Grady? You can administratively mute people. So
Yeah.
I think that makes you the commissioner.
Yeah, he's like Twitter.
Oh
man.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. All right.
Okay. So yeah. With my next pick 11, I'm going to go to my chart topper here. And I didn't look up what it was. I just kind of figured it was in the top something or another. It's one of my favorite records of the year, and that is The Other Side by Cam.
Wow.
Nice. Good pick. Okay.
Garrett is up for his back-to-back
and
picks.
I got the back-to-backs again. That is, I guess, the bonus of picking last in the first round is you do get the back-to-backs. But I'm going to go with Living Legend. And this is another one I kind of had trouble with coming into this. And then, honestly, I had literally about two things written down. One was John Anderson, and the other was Willie Nelson. And then about 5 minutes before we started here, I kind of had like 4 or 5 more flood into my mind. But I am going to go with a fantastic concept record from Steve Earle, Ghosts of West Virginia.
Well done.
And then I guess I keep doing that. I keep forgetting I'm up back-to-back here. So I'm going to go with my duo/band category. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm going to go with my small following. Small following. I'm going with it.
Okay.
And we're going to go with 3 by 49 Winchester.
You son of a
which
bitch.
Is like literally probably. I mean,
They have 1,600
following, but
Twitter followers, by the way. This kind of.
that's not true. I just checked the other day.
I was pretty sure they're over 1,000.
Well, I was pretty sure Gabe Lee was over 1,000 too, actually. But I don't know.
Damn.
What?
I'm going to check right now. I can change it if it's.
No, it's fine. They're close.
Gabe Lee has 741.
They have 508, Mike. I'll show
Do they
it to
really?
You. Yeah. They have
Maybe I was thinking
508.
who was I thinking of?
Anyway, so that's my pick, 349 Winchester. That is, like I said, they have a small following, but that was probably like, sounds, there's a kind of a nice little pun. They were easily in my top 3 this year for records. That one's been on repeat since it came out. So
Yeah.
shout out 49 Winchester.
Damn it.
Okay, I guess I am back on, and I'm gonna go with my band duo album here. I'm gonna go with "Touch of You" by Mike and the Moon Pies for my selection.
Is that the Gary Stewart one? Like the tribute?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice.
Those are my top 2 band duo albums right there. So that's fun.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm writing down my picks. So
Yeah. I have a
later.
I have a Google sheet with everyone's picks coming in. So
Look.
Yeah. Do our teams like fight at the end?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
I think we should post the teams on Twitter and let everybody decide who would win in a fictional album football game.
I am on the clock here, so I'll go ahead and throw in my debut album. One of the most impressive debut albums I've ever heard, front to back, and Tessie Lou Williams, self-titled.
Boo! I wanted that.
I knew Grady would be shitty about that.
Sorry, not sorry.
Good choice. I can't fault you.
Thanks.
All right. Well, then I suppose that I'm up twice. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, geez, where do I go with this right now? I'm gonna maybe be annoying and do some like heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
Amerikinda is the first one I'm gonna do, and I'm taking Folklore by Taylor.
Damn. That's the first time I've got a negative reaction from Thomas. He's just been chill the whole time.
Man.
I'm just like, that sleeping giant is out there waiting to get snapped up. So yeah, I'm going Folklore. And then chart topper, I'm going to say Chris Stapleton's Starting Over. I think it's like, you couldn't want much more in terms of a quality mainstream album.
Yeah, great choice. To be honest, I was going to pick that one, but I had to go with Coulter, Canada.
Yeah, keep it true. Canada Pride, baby.
And because I liked it better, but,
Is it back to me?
it is back to you.
All right. I'll go with on my collab. So I think this counts because Jesse Daniel, Rolling On, Jody sings on most tracks on that. So I think that counts as a collab. Like she's on like most of the songs, right?
Mike has done done nothing but bend the rules the entire time.
I mean, I'm calling it unless somebody puts the hammer down.
But I feel like that's like saying like this bassist is on all the songs on this album. So is it a collaboration always with the bassist?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But if I honestly, I don't really know what other things you could do. Like we took the 3 collab albums I could even think of. So I wouldn't begrudge it.
I know a great one that you could pick, but I'm not going to tell you. So.
Well, of course. So what's the vote? There's 3 of you. You guys can vote on it.
I'm pretty okay with it, to be honest. But I also really like Jesse Daniel. So I'm like, oh, I would love for him to get some love.
All right. Thumbs up or down. 3, 2, 1.
I don't know if
yes.
Let's go.
I don't care what Garrett put. I saw 2 thumbs up. So thanks, guys.
I think you know what I voted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like Mike has definitely found all the loopholes in this draft, but if you can do that, I mean, like I just need to make better rules. I don't know. It's one of those things.
To be fair, when we met like a month ago to discuss this, we did not discuss anything as far as the rules. Like we didn't change anything. So I mean, it's everybody's fault.
My big board is these spreadsheets here, and I have written side notes on all the ways that I could bend the rules on certain categories. So I
in no way did I try to follow the rules even once.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Okay, I'll go to make my pick.
But yeah, I guess
I am like, I'm thinking back on like round 3 when I picked Cam right there, and I should have picked Folklore then, and then just moved all those picks down. But we'll make it. I'm gonna go ahead and go with I don't know. I'm gonna go in and go with my debut record, and my debut pick. When I was doing this, going back over my list 5 minutes before we were doing this, I thought this record was released back in 2019. Pleasantly surprised that it was like spring, which feels like 3 years ago. And that is the self-titled record by Logan Ledger.
Ooh, that's a damn good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a damn good one. Good call.
Yeah. So, Garrett, after this pick right here, we'll go ahead and break for a second. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And I got
I'm gonna
questions for y'all after this. So yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Sounds good. All right. With to close out the first, what do we call it? I guess the first half of the 2020 best albums draft. I don't know. I made up that name on the spot. I'm going to go with my band release, and I'm going to pick Lamentations by American Aquarium.
Dang, boy.
Because that shit was fire.
Yeah. I feel like
there you have it.
I want to ask you guys, I'm just going to throw this out there for anyone to answer. We've kind of already, I know like a few of you have already mentioned like some of the categories that you felt that you didn't have like a lot of picks from. What do you think is like the deepest category that you're just kind of like waiting to throw in the ninth round?
Is it a stupid answer to say my wild card?
Yeah, I mean the wild card for sure.
I mean, yeah, I think that is a really good answer because I mean my wild card. There's probably I probably got a list of about 10 or 12 albums that I mean some have obviously been picked already, but I just like we were kind of talking about before. I just don't know where I'm going to fit them in there, and I'd love to pick all of them, but I simply can't. You know,
I thought duo or band and debut were my easiest categories where I was like, okay, I've got 4 options. I'll have something that I'm okay with on my draft.
Right. Yeah. I feel like debut is pretty deep. I thought like small following has been pretty deep as well, though I have been just keep on looking at Twitter, just trying to make sure like these people are under 1,000. There's been a few people that I thought would be under 1,000 and then they're not. And then there's ones that I was like, oh, well, how are they under 1,000 people? But yeah. So what are you like?
That's what I had trouble too with that category. I was searching through everybody and sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead. What's your...
I was just saying, I was scrambling, going through Twitter, trying to find like every time I click on somebody that I thought of, it would be like 1,100 followers. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was shocked. You look up a guy like Sturgill and to find he has 0 and qualifies.
You're an asshole.
Well, he either has 0 or he has like 70,000, just depending on whether or not he has reactivated his Twitter.
I'm gonna like let you guys in on a little secret. If I would have got the first pick, Sturgill was gonna be my social media pick for the first overall pick, simply because these 2 albums that we like, these bluegrass albums, were born out of the Dick Daddy Survival School that came along on Instagram, and it would have been just a perfect fit because he'd been my social media head coach, like you said. And it's one of the best albums of the year. And I mean, that just seems like it fits absolutely perfectly. So,
yeah, I felt like with the social media personality, it's a great way to kind of like take 2 people off the board at the same time. That's why I picked this bull first, was because I love that reunions record, but he is such a, I guess like he's kind of like our compass as far as on Twitter goes, as far as the Americana country scene. A lot of people look to him, and he's obviously fucking funnier than shit on there. And yeah, I felt like that would be like kind of the way to go. I had a few other people listed, but I don't know. I've just felt like the difference between my number 1 and number 2 was pretty far between. So that's what
I'll say too. The one I just picked with American Aquarium, that was on my social media list too, but I decided to take them in the band category because BJ Barham is hilarious. When, you know, whether you agree with him or not on his political views, that guy knows how to fucking insult people on Twitter, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, you guys have much more. You like more outspoken personalities on social media than I do. I'm like, damn, those are your Twitter kings. I love those artists with all my soul, but
like I said, regardless if you agree with the political stuff or not, it's just funny to see.
I do admire the boldness.
What did he call him? Like a fuck stick or I don't know, something like that. BJ just roasted whoever. He just roasts people on the daily, and I enjoy it, regardless of whether I agree or not.
Look, I love their music very deeply. But I've also like defected from Twitter. I'm too sensitive for that platform, basically.
True.
What about like, obviously like it's pretty well known what I'm most jealous of as far as picks go. What's like your most jealous pick that someone else picked already that you just kind of want to steal?
Like I said, I think, sorry, who was about to say something?
I was thinking, I can't remember who it was. The 49 Winchester one. That one bugged me. Man, I don't know if you guys have gotten a chance to dig into that album.
No, what's like the one sentence on who 49 Winchester is?
Appalachian Soul.
Appalachian Soul. They're, oh man.
Is it a gun reference or Winchester, Virginia?
They're from Virginia, so I assume Winchester, Virginia. Yeah. That's why I'm surprised you haven't heard of them, actually.
No, I mean, I've heard.
I mean, dude, they kind of give you vibes of like, it's a hell of a comparison because he is who he is, but it's like almost like he's got kind of like this Stapleton thing going on with his voice and just the way he sings, the way he belts shit out. Like he's there. And I mean,
the composure of the band is a different sound than Stapleton though. Like it's,
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
But Isaac's voice is, it's something else,
soulful.
Yeah. Highly recommend. But I will say, like, aside from my little thing that I was going to do with Sturgill as my social media pick, which I would love to take that one from Mike, I would also like to take one of Mike's picks in Art McKinley's record, because that one's been one that, honestly, at first, like, I listened to it, I knew it was fantastic right from the beginning. But, like, lately, for whatever reason, like, that one's just been on repeat for me. So Die Midwestern by Arlo McKinley.
Yeah. Mine is definitely, I'm most jealous of the Panhandlers pick. I freaking adore that Panhandlers record. There's no album this year that I feel like just captures of a setting the way that does. Like I really feel like I'm out in a place I've never even been before, out among the tumbleweeds of West Texas. And I just loved like Panhandle Slim is one of my favorite songs. West Texas in My Eyes, one of my favorite songs of the year. So that, and then the Tessie Lou Williams record is my other jealous pick, just because that just sort of stopped me in its tracks with its purity.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Panhandlers record, obviously, being from Lubbock, I kind of felt like I had to take that record where obviously I love it, but also I don't know if I feel bad letting one of y'all steal it from me, basically, since it is such a.
I was just about to say, I do love the fact that you took that. It feels like it just feels right, man.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was thinking, like, do I just take Lubbock and like just Lubbock bands throughout all 10 categories here? Is that the way to go? No, hopefully not. No, I don't know. Maybe there's some
when I was in
Panhandle things up my sleeve. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We'll go ahead and go, Grady. What were you saying? When
I was in Texas, like a while back, and I posted an Insta story that was like, oh, I want to stay here longer next time. And like, I've been to Texas a bunch of times in my life, but I've never really gotten to go to like Big Bend, and I've never gotten to see much of West Texas. And I was like, I want to do that next time. And I had mentioned like, I'd love to swing through Lubbock. Dude, that elicited so much unnecessary rage from other Texans that like went out of their way to DM me that just like, Lubbock sucks, don't go there. Lubbock is trash, like forget Lubbock. I was like, damn, what is up with what would you describe Texans' feelings of Lubbock as? Because I was surprised.
That's I don't understand it either. I was having a conversation with our good friend and writer of West Texas in My Eye, Charlie Stout, the other day about this. And it's just weird. I think people are going to get pissed off if I say this, but there's this like strange jealousy because I think that so many of the Lubbock guys have a genuine camaraderie and a genuine relationships with one another, and they all support each other. And I think that some people are kind of just jealous of that microculture here. And then of course, like we have like a lot of, there's like nothing out here, but there's so many great artists who have come from here. So I think they're like, it's all of that. And it's just because like a little bit of jealousy because of just how tight knit everyone is. So I don't know.
Makes sense.
Garrett, are you ready to go ahead and kick off?
Back at it.
Let's do it.
I think so. I think I'm ready. I'm going to go with this one. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to swipe this one for sure off of Mike's board with the debut. I know you'll have a nice backup, but I'm going to go with Just Like Leaving by Bella White, my fellow Albertan. And it's not just a biased pick for that reason. It's absolutely one of the best records of the year. And the first time I heard it, I did not believe, first of all, that she was from Alberta, nor did I believe that it was her debut album. If that gives you any kind of an idea of how fucking good it is. It's excellent, and I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, Just Like Leaving by Bella White.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even put it on my list because I knew you were going to take it. So.
It's kind of like the one like what Thomas said about the Panhandlers record. But obviously I genuinely love it for the, and it's really that good. But it's also my home homie. So
okay, so with my pick, I'm gonna go with Wild Card, despite it being the deepest category. And it's because I feel like if I wait too long, it's going to be picked. Mm-hmm. This record I've been waiting for like a long time. It's the second record by this artist, and that is the super long name, Blue Eyes, the Harlot, the Queer, the Pusher, and Me by Waylon Payne.
Man, Moody, why?
Great pick. Man.
I just feel like
just
that record is just, it's one of the most rewarding listens I've had this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll tell you, you took that one from the first spot on my wild card list. So
yeah.
Great pick. Great record.
And he's so interesting. I'd never I really didn't know the whole kind of backstory and his long time away. And I enjoyed listening to him on podcasts and how just down to earth and real that guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Mike,
right,
you
Mikey.
are on the board. We're on the clock.
Okay. I'm going to, let's take out my EP. And I'll go.
Is that the first EP picked?
I believe so.
I think it's the first EP.
I'm going to go with Quiet Heavy Dreams from Zach Bryan as my EP pick.
Wow.
Stole it from me. Good work.
Stole it from me too.
It was a close one. There's one other one that I'm sure Garrett will take. But it was the most recent EP Zach Bryan put out, and I think it's his best work to date.
Definitely.
Well, you foiled my plans, Mike, and I actually don't even know what you're talking about because I don't exactly know which one.
There's one just waiting for you.
I think EP is like low-key kind of deep, so there's some great picks, I feel.
Yeah, there's some good EPs out there this year. And yeah.
All right, then it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how I want to divvy these up now. So I need to understand this. Because Mike chose Cut and Grass Volume 1, does this invalidate Cut and Grass Volume 2?
I don't think so.
If Garrett would have chose him for the social media, then that would have taken it, right?
Probably.
But,
yeah.
Wow.
I think it's open.
Well, I'm an idiot. I scratched it out because okay. Well, I would have done okay.
Well, actually, geez, guys, I don't even know if I'm going to choose it now, though. But I'm like, I freaking love that album.
I kind of just crossed it off because I thought it was like the follow up to the first one. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, dude, it's so much better than the first one, I think.
I like the first one better. That's why I chose it.
Okay. I think I'm going to go. Ooh, man. Okay, I think I'm going to go with Debut. And I'm going to go with a band that has two names, depending on which day they feel. And that would be Hill Country and or The Wilder Blue. I think it's now officially The Wilder Blue. But I find when I type in Hill Country, that still works on Spotify. But that album that I think is called, well, I don't know if it was meant to be self-titled, but now hilariously it's not self-titled. But I guess Hill Country by The Wilder Blue. Or it's called The Eagle. Never mind. It's called The Eagle.
Good pick.
Yeah, I love that record too. They were on both my band and debut lists. So yeah, excellent pick.
It's Grady yet again.
Oh, damn it. Those were the two categories I was going to do. And I shouldn't. Okay, wait. Can I? Now I want to make them my band. Yeah, can they be my band? Okay. I was like, shoot, I did it wrong. They were going to be my band. Okay, they're my band. They're my band. However, my debut is going to go to Haley Witters and her record, The Dream. I love that album.
Local Iowan. Right up the road.
Oh, yeah. Go Iowa.
If I could just sneak in here and say something, until like Randy Rogers and Wade Bowen's album fell in my lap there in the first round, and I decided to go with that. I was thinking about, taking Mike's route and bending the rules and trying to make an argument for Haley Witters as my collab album, because there's so many co-writes on that record. Like they're all co-writes, and there's like some big names on there like Brandy Clark and Waylon Payne, and I believe Lori McKenna, I think. I don't know. I had them written down, but
yeah. She was going to try to make the hotel bar.
Yeah, right. And Brent Cobb, I think too. So that I was going to try to maybe like make an argument there for my collab album, but you got her and I got my way, so it's all good.
All right. I'm torn on what to do next, but I really only have one good social media one on the list. And I'm one for punk rock, and his new album this year was punk rock, but as a whole, I think he's going to make some really good country music. It's just whenever he decides to do it. So I'm going to take Co Wetzel off as the social media character.
Good choice.
Yeah.
I figured he'd be in here somewhere.
You just fucked up like 3 of my picks.
Well, I'm not sorry at all.
That was going to be my Amerikinda.
Yeah, I'm it's now that we're like down to like, I guess 4 rounds here, basically 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds essentially. It's just like trying to find that sequence to get what you want. Yeah, I'm gonna go with let's see here. Time is running out. I'm going to go with my EP picker right here. And it's a new EP, 4 songs long, another Panhandle guy, Randall King, his latest, Leanna.
Nice. Good pick.
That was my numero uno. Thank you very much.
This sounded like really fun. Like really, I mean, it's really fun, but it sounded really fun and really easy too when we were first talking about it. And like, you're right. Like now that we get down to like the second half and everybody's like picked half of our picks and we got to kind of strategize what order we're going to stack things in to make sure that we get what we want. But
yeah,
I think that's me. And I got another double header here, right? Or no?
Yes, sir.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a doubleheader.
Doubleheader? Okay. Okay, I'm going to go with my EP. And no, I lied. I'm going to go with Amerikinda. And I'm going to go with Texas Sun by Leon Bridges.
Interesting.
So that's a fantastic EP. And then to follow that up, I'm going to go ahead. And yeah, I didn't think this through that far yet. All right. You know what? I'm going to go with the wild card, and I'm going to go with Keep 'Em on the Toes by Brent Cobb.
You. I knew I was being greedy, keeping it around for so long.
Yeah, no, yeah, fantastic record. And Brent's just, he just kills it. I don't know. And this one just felt so different than his first 2 records too. I mean, not that the first 2 weren't great, but seems like he really kind of hit his stride with this one for sure. And he kind of, I feel like he's one of those artists who like really like bridges that gap for people between like mainstream country and like, Americana, Texas country, that type of thing. So yeah, that is why he is my wild card pick with Keep 'Em on the Toes.
Good choice.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and go with, it's this weird thing where like, yeah, do you stay greedy like Mike is saying? Like, how greedy are you? Do you just let it go? Or do you have like this feeling of, oh, they're on to me. They're going to pick what I want here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Amerikinda here. I'm going to go with another like early spring record, and that is by Waxahachie, St. Cloud. She's been one of my favorite songwriters for a good while now. Her previous works are just, it's this really interesting thing. I feel like her and Isbell, both being from Alabama, kind of capture the same elements, but also totally different aspects of the state and the South in general. So that's my pick. St. Cloud, Waxahachie.
All right.
Well, my plan was to Keep 'Em on their toes if it got back to me, but it didn't. So I'm torn between 2, but I think there's one that needs to be talked about because he's small, almost qualifies for the under 1K, and is the reincarnation of Merle Haggard, as some are saying. And I'm going to go with Black and Blue from Zephaniah O'Hara. Works at a New York hair salon and makes some great like honky tonkin' music. And that's going to be my wild card.
Great pick. Yeah.
That's good.
Thanks.
All righty. Okay. Wow. Okay. So I'm making some last minute adjustments here, and I think I'm going to move my wild card to a really misinterpreted social media personality. I mean, I was choosing like Chris Owen, who posts like those radio updates on Twitter that I really like, about like how many songs are getting added. Not a musician. I really, and I had a TikToker that like sings along to stuff because I think he's funny. But these aren't really musicians.
Is that Aiden?
I like the way you took that though. Like,
Well, there's one that's okay. Here was my number one. Maybe I'll just go with it. I'm going with it because why the hell not? Because he's really funny and really freaking weird. And he does play music. So there you go. And it's Kyle Crownover.
Oh my God.
Kyle is one of the most bizarre and interesting follows on all of Instagram. I really enjoyed when he remade Taylor Swift's song The One as The Two about pooping. I enjoyed his Tiger King remakes and his sort of ongoing faux beef with Morgan Wallen. All of it is enjoyable.
And his Jolly Ranchers.
The Jolly Ranchers are pretty funny. Yeah.
So I'm just doing it. I'm using one of my picks for Kyle.
Respect.
Okay. And then, ooh, maybe that'll be my grand finale. I'll do EP picker now. I'll save wild card for last. EP picker, I'm saying Parker McCollum's I think it's the Pretty Hart EP. I don't actually remember the name of it. The one that just came out.
Hollywood Gold.
Hollywood Gold. That's what it is. It's like the first time I've really just gotten Parker. Like I felt like I understood his perspective and I really liked it.
His
choice. I like that choice though.
Yeah, that was it was him or Randall for me for that. So
same.
I would have been happy with either one. And I just, with Randall's being so new, that's the reason I had to go with that one first. But excellent choice. Mike, you're on the board. Or on the clock. I don't know. Keep on saying
clock, yeah.
It's on the board, yeah.
Nobody's picked First Rose of Spring, right? From Willie?
No.
Okay, I'll take that for Legends.
Wow, cool, calm, collected Mike over there.
Yeah, that was cold. That was just.
Oh man, what I love is like seeing everyone's how they have been looking at their lists. If they printed them out, like I just have mine on a Google sheet.
Mm-hmm. Good old pen and paper, baby.
Pen and paper, all that kind of stuff. It's been, yeah. So I am up next, and I have two categories left here. And that is small following and living legend. I'm going to go ahead and go with my living legend pick. I kind of felt that this is pretty safe. Like I didn't feel like you guys were going to pick him, but he's been like one of my favorite songwriters of all time. And that is Terry Allen. Another Lubbock person. He released the record Just Like Moby Dick earlier this year, and I'll be perfectly honest, I'm surprised it was not Grammy nominated because it's so fucking good. So that's my pick.
I'm scared to tell you I don't know who that is. But I don't know who that is. But I'm wearing a Florida Georgia Line shirt, so like, should it be that shocking?
Yeah. Go if you've heard like Amarillo Highway, he's the one who wrote.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, okay.
For the Robert O'Keefe's version of that song.
Yeah.
I guess it's me then, isn't it? And these are my last two picks. So I got
your last two picks.
So,
yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. This is weird now. Now I just gotta. Feels very anticlimactic to have to pick the last two back to back, but. And honestly, all right, you guys got to tell me if this is allowed. You can even cut this out if you want. I have. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Oh, I just thought of something. I just thought of something that I could have did, and it would have been like a really sneaky loop. Well, anyway, what's done is done. Would a 2-song release count as an EP if it was like on? It was like a singular release on the streaming services, but it had 2 songs on it.
I know what one you're talking about.
No.
And it is technically called an EP on Spotify.
I think we're going to need to do the vote thing with the thumbs up and thumbs downs. So
what's the one I'm thinking of?
3, 2, 1, thumbs up or thumbs down. Ooh, 2-1, rough. Okay.
I had your back, buddy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I knew they were going to vote it down, though. So
Appreciate it. I didn't actually know that it was technically an EP on Spotify. That is good to know. I would have definitely threw that in there in my argument. But anyway, I also could have picked that one for my debut, but we can talk about it after. It was going to be Sierra Farrell. But anyway, I'm a fucking moron, and I didn't think of that. But anyway, all right, let's go with... Fuck, man. All my EPs are gone. I'm serious. I have 2, but nobody's going to know what they are.
I just picked Terry Allen, so I mean...
I guess so. All right, man. Well, you know what? I'm going to go with... for my EP, I'm going to go with... I think that... maybe I'll swipe this one off Thomas's list. I don't know. We're going to go with Cap Rock Composition for my EP by Mason and the Gin Line. Just released like last week. And I've been digging it for the last week. These guys have really a great sound. And I don't know much about them. Thomas, maybe you can speak a little bit on this. But great music. I like the way it sounds. And it was on my list. And so that's what I'm going with.
Yeah. I'm like, this year's been so weird. It's not like I've been able to go out and see them or even meet them in person, despite them being in Lubbock. And like I was pleasantly surprised to come across them as well. And what I love so much about them is like they feel like a callback to some more of the like early Texas country, like early Robert Earl Keen, or like there's some like Pat Green kind of feel to them, and Great Divide, stuff like that. And so,
Great Divide is probably like the one that comes to mind first for me. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So no, I think that's like a great pick, and I think like people need to know about them. So
yeah, my other one, like I said, I am going to give this one a shout out too. It's this kid named Myron Elkins he came out with like this acoustic EP. It came out this year, but like he's got like the sound you'll hear on the EP. The only reason I didn't pick this one is because the sound you'll hear on the EP really isn't representative of what him and his band kind of sound like for real. So that's why I went with Mason and Gin Line. But shout out Myron Elkins. And anyway, this will be my last pick. I'm kind of dragging that one on. And this comes down to 2 choices too, and I'm really just kind of going to close my eyes and make a snap decision here. Because I don't really know what to do, but I love this. Fuck, man, I love them both so much.
5 seconds.
God damn. Okay.
4, 3.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go with Nicholas Jamerson's The Wild Frontier for my social media pick. And now this is going to sound really fucked up because he does not have Twitter, but he first of all, he released this record on 4/20, and it wasn't like a normal release day. So that's hilarious, first of all. And second of all, he proceeded to kind of break the internet in some circles with Sunday Best's Banana Pick. I don't know if you guys like Sunday Best, but
love them. 4-Door, most underrated song ever.
Good stuff. Grady's on my side. But anyway, that's going to be my social media pick. I know it's kind of a reach, maybe, but
I mean, he runs the Sunday Best Twitter account, and it's pretty live. Like,
all right, good stuff. I didn't know if he ran it or not. That's why I didn't really go there. But yeah, that's my.
Well, he said he posted the banana pick, so I assume he ran the.
Good stuff.
It's also kind of like Yahtzee when like at the end of Yahtzee and you don't get a small straight and you just have to be like, well, I guess I'm just taking a 0 on the small straight category or something.
I'll tell you guys the one I was like maybe leaning on after.
I was going to say after we're finished, we will like throw out some other kind of left on the undrafted board kind of thing.
There we have it.
I am up with my final pick. It is Small Following. As I said, probably 3 or 4 times now, I felt like this was such a deep category. So that's why I kind of left it to the end. And there's still like, I think all of my picks are still on the board, all my choices. So I'm looking at it and I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with one of my, like whenever I first heard this record, I thought it was just one of the most intriguing and interesting sonic palettes to come out this year. And that is Westward by Jonathan Terrell. He's an Austin guy, and he just this Westward record is very much like this, like kind of like moody desert meets, I don't know, like dive bar meets camping under the stars record. And I don't know, I just really like it. So yeah, I'm just rambling now. So
I feel bad on my last pick because it's actually an EP, and I can use EPs in any category, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And this band is a young band, a cool band, got an awesome following, and they came out with an EP called Red Eyes, and Pecos and the Rooftops is going to be my duo band with their EP Red Eyes.
Sure, man, good pick. That one slipped my mind completely.
Another Lubbock band.
I'm surprised you didn't snag them.
All right, I guess I'm the final category. So it's wild card. I have like a million albums I want to include here, and certainly with as esteemed of music listeners as you, I want it to be a more serious album, but I really got to go with the honest truth of it. And it's Hardy's A Rock. Okay. I love that Hardy album. It is like the best version of what bro country could be, and way smarter than it would appear to be on the surface. And like, it was such a gym soundtrack for me this year.
Stuff. You know what, Grady? I mean, this is a nice little plug for your channel. Like, as a person who probably wouldn't otherwise bother to listen to Hardy, your review of that album did make me listen to it, and it really wasn't as bad as I kind of had preconceived in my mind.
Well, hell yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah, well, okay, Grady, you mentioned obviously there's like 1,000 records you want to mention. What's like left on what's like what are y'all's best choices of the undrafted? If we can just kind of throw some of those names out.
Who's going to play in Summer League, to make an NBA reference?
Yeah. Who's on a two-way contract?
Yeah, two-way contract.
My biggest one that's probably the one that just like didn't end up. I just thought it would be funnier to mention Hardy at the end in my wild card, and I did listen to that record more than this one, but was Brandy Clark's Your Life is a Record. Mm-hmm. I adored that album, and it's so like whimsical and weird and different. The other one was pretty silly, and it's like the Hot Country Nights record that I think it sounded amazing. It just got completely, I feel like the albums that came out in March at the beginning of quarantine, they kind of got some love and people paid attention. And then by like May, June, that was the dark period where I think we were all surprised to still be in quarantine, and everything, the stuff that came out then, I really feel like just got buried and ignored. And the same would be a little bit true of like Maddie and Tay's album that I think is pretty darn good as a follow-up. And then the new Sturgill, I already said it, but the newest Sturgill, Volume 2, I think like one of the musical moments of the whole year is Welcome to Earth Polywog, the redo of it, and instead of kind of the funky breakdown, you get this bluegrassy sort of build. It's so just cool and different. And yeah, those were mine.
Yeah, my number one that didn't make it, and it came down between this and my Zephaniah Hora one, was Glad You Made It by Joshua Ray Walker. Mm-hmm. Amazing album. It's one that I listened to throughout the entire year. And I feel bad it didn't make it on, but it deserves a lot of love.
I would like to give a shout out to one that I actually just recently listened to. Thomas, I know you did a podcast with her like back when the record came out, but Brennan Lee's Prairie Love Letter was really, really good. I just recently actually kind of dove in and listened to that one like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's one that I have to like go back and listen to the whole thing. It's not one that you can just like pick a song or two and like, listen to that type of thing. I would also like to say that the other social media one, and this was the reason I was going to go with that one, was Core Blund, because I've seen he just recently got TikTok, so that was going to be my connection there. Yeah. But I got to give a shout out to Corb, because Corb's was probably like, he's been one of my favorite artists for like my entire life. And I think that record was like some of his best work yet. So shout out to Corb. And I mean, Charlie Crockett. That didn't make it as well.
A big miss.
Yeah, Charlie, we missed him.
Yeah, it feels like there's some of like the mid-tier heavy hitters. Kind of like we just kind of like the Charlies. I'm thinking like the Rustin Kelly record.
That was between Rustin Kelly and Pecos for me was kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah,
and I almost did Gaslighter by the Chicks just for fun, but
yeah, I mean another Lubbock band. So I mean no, at least Natalie Maines now. But yeah, I wanted to piggyback on the Brennan Lee thing. Like that record, in a lot of ways, I kind of compare it to the Panhandlers record because she just captures a very specific place and setting. It's all about her home state and just kind of the plains. And there's just, I don't know, like it's just like it's a warm record, and it feels like it captures a 10-mile radius, like that small of a place, but just feels like it's also on the edge of the world. One of my, like, I guess I was kind of surprised one of y'all didn't pick this under the EP picker, and that is Neon Dreams by Braxton Keith.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that it was a great EP. Mm-hmm. One of my picks in Amerikinda that I felt like, I don't know. I think after Folklore was taken off, my second pick was Waxahachie, but right below that was, and this is like not really even anything remotely country or anything, but The Killers Imploding the Mirage. I thought like that record, it's been one of my favorite of the year. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should, since I told you guys earlier, I had basically all my picks under Small Following. I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to all those. The other ones that just didn't make that I didn't say. Chasing Ballads by Bo Armstrong. Like he's like a Texas guy who moved up to Nashville, and his record is very much like the Heartland country, the Heartland rock version of country, like the Will Hogue kind of country. Big kind of like anthemic songs. Autonomy by Stephanie Lambring. I feel like that's it's going to be one of these records that it's been talked about a little bit this year, but I feel like in 5 years, people are going to be talking about it way more because it's going to be one of those, oh, you need to go check out her earlier stuff. Real Me by Britt Taylor. And then another Lubbock band that I just absolutely love, and that is Rattlesnake Milk. They're like this like deserty kind of punk garage rock band that is a little bit more of a gritty take of what West Texas is. So yeah.
I want to just like, I've been biting my tongue since we were talking about Brennan Lee. But I will say like that one, I don't know, that one really connected with me just cause like, you know, it kind of just made me feel at home, even though, you know, North Dakota, Alberta, that type of thing. But it's kind of got that wintry feel to it a little bit. And actually one that I'm going to piggyback off of that because something that just came out last week that I was listening to as I was driving into the city to go to work, and it was snowing, and it was just like, it just captured, I don't know, I was having an out of body experience listening to it just because of like the setting and like what I was hearing was, and part of it's in German, is James Steinley's record that just came out, which I really enjoyed. And also one that I was going to mention before that we didn't talk about, I don't think, was Lori McKenna.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Freaking right.
Mm-hmm. So that one slipped through the cracks somehow, but yeah, also really great.
I also think an album that didn't get quite as much respect or traction as I was hoping was just like throughout the year was Kyle Nix's album. I thought it was really well done, and the whole backing band was really awesome on it. And
Manifesto is like one of the songs of the year. I feel like that's like such a statement.
Yeah.
Like the lead up into it.
Yeah.
Right. Isn't that the song?
Well, Manifesto is the song where he basically talks about like, okay, my grandfather went to war and I play in a band. And basically he's kind of having this question of, do I bring value to the world? And he kind of just settles into that place that the Turnpike often did of like, well, you just got to do your best. That's kind of all there is to it.
Am I embarrassingly wrong though in saying like, isn't there like an instrumental that leads up into and then like obviously like an instrumental track that leads up into that song?
Yeah.
That blew my mind the first time I listened to it.
Yeah, no, I thought like that could have been. I thought one of y'all. This would have been a perfect Mike thing to like shoehorn it in as a debut record, because obviously it is a solo debut record.
Yeah.
Excellent choice. Oh, also like I am surprised by as far as like another social media follower that. Definitely quality, but like probably way more quantity than anything else, just because it's just constant. And that would have been like Casey Musgraves. Just a great follow. So, but mainly on Twitter, obviously, but you know, I'm surprised like she wasn't picked, but maybe if we have like 10 people, she'd be picked, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
She had a pretty low key year.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys, like, what was if you could like going back on the stuff we did pick, what was your guys' like, which one were you most shocked at, I guess? Or like, what was the most surprising pick by somebody that you didn't really expect, either like coming from them or just the most surprising pick that maybe you hadn't heard of or something like that?
I think Mike picking Ashley McBride. I wouldn't have expected it. And that was, you know, I also was very jealous of that pick. I'm like, damn, that's one of it's definitely my top 5. I don't know where it finally lands for the whole year, but
I mean, just as far as her being on a mainstream country artist, and that is even that aside, like, I mean, it's one of the best albums of the year. And I think there needs to be a lot more Ashley McBrides in the world. And she's getting a lot of, I mean, just as a female artist in the mainstream too, which oftentimes kind of get drowned out. She plays a very important role in country music right now. And I knew Grady wanted to pick it. So
what do y'all have? The controversial song on that album is Styrofoam. And I will say the first time I heard the album, I was like, what the hell is this weird ass song about Styrofoam? But over the year, I have come to actually appreciate it. I don't know if you all have opinions.
I usually skip that one.
You know, I'm not surprised by the pick, but I'm surprised, like looking at the draft order here, I'm surprised Haley's record went round 7. You would think that would have probably been higher up because it is probably like a top 5 record of the year. But again, it's like in such a deep category, you understand why it falls. But yeah, that's that. And like, I'm a little surprised like the Zephaniah record fell that far too. So
yeah, that felt like a steal.
Definitely.
I need to get on board with Zephaniah. Zephaniah is someone that like once a year, someone's like, Grady, listen to Zephaniah. And I'm like, I have. And then I go and listen to it again. I'm like, oh, it's really good. And then I just forget. I don't know. I need like like when you said hairdresser that plays like, or a guy, a hairstylist or a barber, I don't know what his official term is, that also plays honky tonk. That was like a bit of narrative that I needed. And I'm like, oh, wow, cool. You have framed him. And now I will remember Zephaniah.
Dude, when he was telling us like he's a hairdresser or he works in a salon. I'm not sure what he does in a salon in New York City.
He did
and
work
I had listened to like his first 2 albums before hearing that, and I was like, what in the fuck, man? Like, that's what you do for a living? That's the background on this? Like, it's wild. That does not match.
Yeah, you say that, cool. but like all of his promo photos, he looks so fucking cool. His hair is always like, he's probably like, if there was a category, gorgeous. If there was the category of like best dressed, it would probably be down to like him and Charlie Crockett. Like
it's hard to beat Charlie.
Yeah.
So
it is hard. It is tough to beat Charlie.
Have you seen Gary LaVox from Rascal Flatts though? Because I would say that his fashion is just stunning.
I try to avoid Rascal Flatts.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's like? Is there any picks out there? Let's get a little controversial here. What picks are you just kind of like, just not necessarily not on board, but are like kind of surprised in a negative way? Anything out there?
I still haven't gotten on the Hardy bandwagon that Grady talks about, but that's just me.
Totally fair enough. It's like, it's a pretty oppressive, loud sound. And I guess I've just heard so many bad versions of it that when you hear a good version of it, it melted this cynical ice block of my heart where I was like, wait, I kind of love it. I've also just been on a journey. Hardy to me this whole year, and this fits into my answer to your question, man, like I left New York media, and like I've got a bit of a chip on my shoulder toward maybe the intelligentsia, and I got like dragged by Upchurch last year and like the whole hip hop world. And I think I'm like in this mindset of trying to be like, okay, why did I sound pretentious? Why do I come across to people like I'm looking down on them? And it's definitely changed how I listen to bro country records and trying to kind of take away that sort of slant of my own looking down on them and be like, all right, this is like, let me approach this as a sincere release. That said, the one that I already expressed it, but like Jason Isbell on Twitter, to me, as someone that adores his songwriting, I feel often, maybe because I'm in this mindset, like, oh dude, your songwriting is so nuanced, and there's something invitational, and certain messages go down so much easier in song than they do in the written word. And I'm like, all your conservative fans, it's almost like I feel like they get kind of sacrificed in the process, and maybe he doesn't want them. It's his prerogative. I never would censor anyone wanting to say what they want to say, but that's the one to me where sometimes I like the jokey side of Jason, but the kind of dunking on certain people to me comes off really sanctimonious sometimes, but I'm not I mean, that's not that like hot of a take, I know, but I still love Jason. I mean, Reunions would have been somewhere in my list, if only for the song River.
That's such a good song. But I agree with you. And yeah.
I think, like, I don't know, this is kind of changing gears, but just like it, even though we picked 40 albums this year, or like 40 albums for this draft, I feel like there's like the amount that we've just listed, just the four of us, like, I wonder like what else the four of us who are all pretty big time music listeners, like what did we miss out on if there was anything? And like, it just felt like a hell of a year for music, especially the kind of music that we all cover. And, I feel like it was a strong draft class, if you know what I mean. Like it feels like any other year, maybe some of these records that we talked about afterwards that we were just like, oh, like what are these undrafted ones? Like it feels like maybe on any other year, these would have been in, the first 3 or 4 rounds,
And there was a freaking lot of it this year too. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly kind of feel, this is not a total disagreement, because I do think that there's been a lot of really great music to come out this year, but I almost feel like there isn't that monster record that like just was kind of like the dominant record of the year.
Yeah.
That we've seen in previous years. I think like the closest to it is like the Sergil stuff and the Taylor Swift stuff. I didn't like, or I've not really liked
Starting
Taylor's.
over would be that,
last,
but it's only a month old.
And yeah, that may be part of it, but like, I don't know. It felt like, for me at least, I don't know, like it felt like there was a lot of great quality in the middle versus there being like just a monster record. Like I don't know, like I feel like the Panhandlers could have been way bigger, but obviously, and this just may also just be because when people aren't able to tour and play shows, like you just don't get the same show buzz, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
you see it in TV ratings too.
Sorry, you go ahead, Grady.
I was just going to say, I think it's like happening across pop culture, just things that are usually events. I think as people are kind of in their own rhythms and patterns and at home, and like people aren't on tour and they're not going on, like the media infrastructure is kind of out of whack. And when you're releasing an album, people like the big stars aren't going on Good Morning America and then saying something controversial on Jimmy Kimmel that sets off a news cycle in Rolling Stone and all that stuff. Like Dierks Bentley talked about it recently in an interview that said, like, I'm going to release singles, but I'm not going to put out another solo album right now because I just did it with the Hot Country Nights and we worked really hard and we were excited. And then he said, poof, it was gone. Like no one cared. It just, and I think if you look at TV ratings, those are like CMAs. They were literally like down 40%, like a shocking amount. Same thing has happened like with every big show. It's just kind of pop culture in some ways does seem to just sort of be gliding by. And I agree with your assessment that there wasn't these kind of big tent poles as much as usual.
Like the record that I would kind of go to is like, there's not been like a golden hour by Casey like this year. That just felt like everyone got that record. No, it just felt like it transcended any kind of label for anyone. Country fans loved it. Americana fans loved it. Your grandmas and like teenage girls and teenage boys and like everyone just loved that record. And like you said, like kind of like the tentpole record. Yeah. I don't know if there's, I don't know. I just don't feel like there's been something that giant. So
I definitely agree with that. But like you said, I think that the strength in this year is the fact that there's, like you said, all this stuff that like you said, maybe it's mid to top tier stuff. And then there's like all these debuts, like you said, and EPs, not like it there's a lot to kind of sift through to like even break it down to our big boards here and try to figure this shit out. But, I do definitely agree with the fact that there's not one standout that you're just like, yep, that's it. I mean, for me, it obviously would have been, I think, even though it is all old material, like Cutting Grass is, it made me, yeah. I mean, it's just beautiful.
Who drafted that one again? That was a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
I think next year, though, I mean, with all the songwriting that happened this year during quarantine, and there's so many artists I'm sure are sitting on albums waiting till they can tour on it. I think next year we might see some of those big ones. You know,
that was something I wanted to ask you guys. Like, what's your? I mean, this is kind of getting into like a weird topic almost, but like, I think in the next 2 to 3 years, I think it'll go longer than even next year, like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 or 5 years. Like we're going to see such different music and different sounds, I think, from some artists that we think we know just simply because they've had all this time at home to kind of like play with new sounds, focus on their songwriting, maybe like work on their songwriting and get better. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out in the next, not just next year, but like in the next several years that we're going to be like 2020 really kind of changed music,
Yeah, I think that I feel like it's probably not going to be as dominant next year as like we may think, as like you would expect. I think it's going to be like 18 months from now. Because I think a lot of these people, you need to get some distance from anything that's kind of a traumatic event in someone's life. And you get a little bit of distance, and you get that perspective of like what was going on. But I do think that like there has to be a number of artists who are holding back on a record because they can, and because, you know, they're hoping that by late spring, by early summer, we have a little bit of like normalcy given back into this world. And I don't know, like as far as new sounds go, I'm of the opinion that I've mentioned this on a podcast a while back with Sadler Vaden and Andrew Nelson of Great Peacock about, I think like one of the most important bands in Americana is not even an Americana band, and that's the War on Drugs. I think that like you see a lot of those sonic qualities, the textures, the synth and stuff like that, even on like Jason's record, Reunions, which is something I don't know if you would have seen even just like 4 or 5 years ago. And if you look at like the American Aquarium stuff, it's on that. It's on like, I don't know. I'm even just looking at our board real quick. It's I don't know. Like I just feel like that may be something that we broaden our horizons on what Americana is. And obviously, probably like one of the best things about this year has been just the open dialogue of and the conversation about diversity. So I think that will also be, people are going to be more open to and understanding that like there's a lot of other voices that are country and that are Americana and deserve a place at the table. So, yeah.
Nice. I think one that comes to mind when you're talking Americana and not going to be classified in many country discussions, but definitely when you talk to being, I don't know, it is just one that came to mind when you were talking about that is Expectations by Katie Pruitt is a really important album from this year, and it's Americana as Americana gets, but it's not going to be talked about in too many country dialogues, but yeah.
Yeah, like I'm kind of surprised that wasn't picked. That's like one of the ones that are, yeah.
I just couldn't figure out where to piece it in, and yeah.
This is hopping backwards, but I felt it was so left unsaid. I do think with our lack of a tent pole, Stapleton's album is going to endure because that has a deep bench of what I think are smashes. Like, after Starting Over, which has been smashing, Cold is this like bitter, vengeful burner. You Should Probably Leave is going to be the sexy song. And then I think he takes it home with Maggie's song about like the dog dying. And I think he could go deep. I think he could go 5 singles and have Arkansas. You got all these genres.
Dude, I think I can't even
could
listen
be
to
a
that
legendary
dog song. I can't even listen to that dog song. But you're right. Anyway. Keep going. I just had to fit that in there.
I just think I think it could reveal itself as the tentpole we missed in 2020 as time goes on. That's all I was going to say. It's a way more worthy follow-up to Traveler.
Yeah, like you look at the way like Travelers held up. Like I think it's solid in that sense where people are just going to be discovering that one for quite some time. You know, he's like the perfect gateway drug into country music for me. Like what I perceive to be the perfect gateway drug into country music for people who aren't familiar with country music. I don't know about
all realms of country music. You mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm saying country music. Don't forget Hillbilly Blood and Devil Always Made Me Think Twice, which Hayley Whitters might, I don't know. I can't pick which is better because they both just bring something totally different and they're both bangers. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
One I'm shocked that Garrett didn't pick was They'll Never Keep Us Down, Kelsey Walden. What the fuck, dude?
Oh yeah, another EP right there. Yeah.
Oh shit, that was an EP. I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Dude, the EPs, I said, remember when I said the collaborations was the hardest one? The EPs, I just didn't I didn't know how to research that very well.
That's the one where you were talking about how you were out. I took your EP or whatever, and I said there's one waiting for you in Western Kentucky.
I didn't hear you say Western Kentucky, or probably would have thought of it. But anyway,
I probably leaned away from the microphone because I didn't want you to figure it out. But
you didn't pick it, so what damage would it have done?
I know I had already filled that anyways, so I just seeing you struggle.
Yeah, well, I think it's a pretty good draft, pretty good conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other closing statements or anything?
My closing statement would just be to you, Thomas. Thank you for reaching out to us and asking us to do this, and coming up with the idea. This was a lot of fun, and I don't know about you guys, but I'd like to do this again next year.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah, always available. I like dumb ideas like this, so.
I don't think this is dumb. I think this is cool. Nobody else has done this, so.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative for the chance to be here, and I'm inspired by you all. I officially sit there, review records, and sometimes music that I love can feel like a monkey on my back, rather than just being able to kind of bask in it and love it. So this was a fun reminder of the joy of being a music fan.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to just get to sit down with a group of people like this, coming from different backgrounds, and I get to sit down with Garrett daily, but Thomas, I haven't really got to talk to you too much, and I know Grady a little bit, but it's just really cool to get all these different perspectives, and Grady's an inspiration to me just because of how he can be more open-minded when it comes to country music than I can, as he sits there in a Florida Georgia Road shirt. So a true inspiration. But Grady, I'm going to make a TikTok about this with my picks, and you should duet it.
For the record, it was given to me when I went to see their tour rehearsal in a warehouse in Nashville. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this, but now I own a Florida Georgia Line at the Ryman. They had 1 million extra larges. And so they were like, you can have one. So it's it's a solid house shirt. I wear this around a lot.
It's actually kind of
there's
cool
so
shirt.
Many people on Twitter that you could trigger with the words Florida Georgia Line at the Ryman with.
I'll never talk bad about him. Brian's my buddy.
I love the house shirt. There's so many of those times when you meet someone and you get a house shirt. It's speaking of Christmas, the perfect house shirt time when you get that shirt from an aunt or somebody. You're like, this is never leaving the house. This is laundry shirt.
Yeah.
But so
I love it. No.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for hopping on and doing this. And I don't know, hopefully we can do something like this in the future again.
Definitely. Be fun.
We don't see in the future, we'll see in the pasture.
Oh, wow.
Cut it.